Welcome back to GCP Security Best Practices, part 4. We are diving into the GCP Best Practices. This part 4, we're gonna review some of the scenarios, I will say more complicated, and what are the recommendations from GCP Best Practices. Scenario 1. A company has been running their application on compute engine. A bug in the application allowed a malicious user to repeatedly execute scripts that result in the compute engine getting crashed. Although the bug has been fixed, you would like to get notified in case of similar issue occurred again. What shall we do? Create an alert policy in the stack drive using process health condition, or create an alert in stack drive using CPU for threshold. I mean, it's okay, but okay, this is about some okay system getting crashed, or log every execution of the script in stack drive and create user-defined metric. That one sounds right. And the a bit similar, but it's using BigQuery as a log sync. There's only to use BigQuery. In this scenario, I will lean towards C. We log every execution, and then we create user-defined metrics, and we log the logs, and then we create a dashboard. Okay, the answer is C. Okay, again, the link's there for you to go and view on that part. Next is an org typical network and security review consists of analyzing application transit routes, request handling, and firewall rules. They want to enable their developer team to deploy application without overhead. What shall we do? Use First with firewall to catch unwanted configuration. Mandate use of infrastructure as a code. Nowadays is the terminology. Route all the traffic through customer managed environment. All production application need to be run on premise. Allow the dev team to free reign in GCP. The answer is infrastructure as a code. That will be P. So we need to validate infrastructure as a code to provide static analysis through the pipeline. This is the best practices, and this is the whole benefit of CI/CD. Next is which international compliance standards provide guidelines for information security control? Is it ISO 271 to 1718? The answer is 2717, which is C. Okay, next, a customer terminate an engineer and need to make sure the engineer account is automatically deprovisioned. What shall we do? Use the Cloud SDK with their directory service for the IAM, or use the directory service with provision deprovision, or C, configure cloud directly sync with the directory service for deprovision and provision for the identity, and D is using the same for IAM permission. The answer in this scenario will be the C, cloud directory sync with the directory service for provisioning deprovisioning. Somebody left, get sync triggered, that will remove it. Somebody joined, it does the same. Okay, so look, C. Your team needs to make sure that their backend database can only be accessed by the front end. We need to restrict it. What shall we do? Create ingress firewall rule to allow access only from the application and restrict it using tags. This is one of the benefits we spoke about earlier about securing. Create different subnet or create two VPC. Ignore C and D because why need to create two VPCs and make it too complicated? I just need to tag it and secure it. So the answer is A. Let's have a look. Create an egress firewall and from source to target with the tagging because that tag will control the communication between the source and target. Your company is storing sensitive data in cloud storage. You want a key generated on premise to be used on the cloud. What shall we do? Use cloud key managed service to decrypt the data. Use the key management service to manage key encryption key. Use customer supplied key with data encryption. Use customer supplied key to manage the key. We spoke about generating key on-premise to be used in the cloud. Okay, so we can use the cloud management key to manage the data encryption key because we generated on-premise and then we can utilize it. And the answer is A. Your company run website that will be storing some personal data. To comply with data privacy regulation, the data can only be stored in a specific amount of time and need to be deleted after a while. What shall we do when it reach its time? Store data in single persistent disk. That will be very costly. Then delete the disk when it's expired. Store data in a big table and set the time expiration for the columns. That sounds right, but it's a bit costly. Or C, store data and again it's big query table, not table. See the difference between B and C? Then this B and then the answer will be C. So have a look. Store data in a single big query table and set the appropriate table expiration time. It will automatically expire and then delete it. In a shared security responsibility model, infrastructure as a code, or IaaS, which two layers stack does the customer share responsibility? The answer straight away is storage and encryption and access policies. These are the responsibility of the customer. Next, a customer is collaborating with another company, building an app using GCP. The app is three layers or three tiers application. Communication between the both sides need to be across the public internet. What connectivity shall we use? Cloud VPN, basically. To secure communication between two companies, then there will be cloud VPN. The answer will be B. A company deployed a new app engine application that writes logs to BigQuery. No other workload are running in the project. We need to validate all data written by BigQuery using the app engine. What shall we do? Use tag drive, A and B, then click on the email address and then hide the matching entries and then make sure the resulting in is empty. Okay, now this sounds applicable. What about C? In BigQuery, select related data set. Make sure the app engine saves accounts, the only account. If you remember earlier, we had the questions about allowing the account for a data set. So C sounds right. Go to IAM section on the project, validate the app. So the answer is C. In BigQuery, select the related data set. Make sure the app engine default saves account, only account with a permission to it. Your company has employed an application on compute engine or deployed, sorry. The application is accessible via port 587. You need to balance the load between the different instances. The connection should use TLS for security. What shall we do here? Network load balancing, HTTP load balancing, SSL or TCP. We're talking about TLS, so the answer is SSL, proxy load balancing. Okay, SSL load balancing. Customer company has multiple business units. Each business unit operate independently from each other. Your team want to visibility onto the project and organize the GCP based on different business units. Each business unit require separate IAM. What should you do to achieve that? Create an org node and assign folder for each business unit. Sounds right. Establish standalone project. Assign GCP resource to a project with a label identifying who is the owner. So the answer is A. Create an org node and then folder and assign it with the business unit. Customer Internet Security Team, IST, must own encryption key and decide to use customer supplied key. How should they achieve this? Upload the encryption key to cloud bucket and then use the same bucket, or use G Suite command tool, the CLI, to specify the location, or generate encryption key in the GCP console and upload the project with the object for the storing the keys, or encrypt the object using the command line and then upload the file. So basically encrypt, then upload it. The answer is D. Encrypt and then upload the key. An org is starting to move the infrastructure from its on-premise environment to Google Cloud. The first step is to basically to migrate the current backup and disaster recovery. Then the org production environment will remain on-premise. They never plan to migrate it. The organization wants to scalable and cost-effective solution. What they should use for this one. So basically migrate some of the workload and leave the production on-premise. BigQuery using data pipeline job with continuous update, cloud storage using Task and G Suite, or compute engine with virtual machines. This is very costly. Cloud data store using regular job, and that will not give us the analysis we are after. Okay, so the answer is A, using BigQuery with data pipeline to analyze, which will help for the DR scenarios. Okay, customer terminate an engineer and need to make sure the engineer account is automatically deprovisioned. We spoke about this earlier, but in a different way. What shall we do? We use the sync for the sync service to provision and deprovision from the cloud identity. Well, the answer is A. No SDKs and configured for data to remove IAM permission. No. So answer is A. A company is running on web shop. Sorry, they have web shops and they're running on the Google Kubernetes engine. Yeah, JKE. If you remember earlier, I want to analyze their transactions in BigQuery. What shall we do? You need to ensure the credit card number are stored in BigQuery. What we have to do? Create a BigQuery to view the regular expression matching credit card number with policy. If it detects, delete it, or use Cloud DLP API to react there for sensitive data, or leverage security command center to scan too complicated, or enable cloud identity aware proxy to filter out credit card numbers or any other numbers. So the answer is D. That was the last questions for part 4. Hopefully we have learned something new and useful, and I shall see you or talk to you about GCP Best Practices Q&A Part 5. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.